flapping among the Carpathian Mountains one night when he happened to flap past his mailbox. He noticed that there was a letter for him and was very excited. He swooped down to take a look. It was from his cousin, Vladimir from Canada.
Cousin Spooky, the letter read, "We are having a family reunion this year in Canada. Please come." And it was signed, your cousin, Leh.
Well, Spooky packed his bag then and there. He put in dried worm tongues, pickled rhino horns, and marinated frog eyes. Ew! Party food he'd been saving just for such an occasion.
Spooky began flapping through the dark Carpathian night. By dawn, he was exhausted. He saw a man walking on the road below. He swooped down and asked him, "Am I in Canada yet?"
No, laughed the man, but you are almost in Budapest. If you want to get to Canada, you had better take an aeroplane. It is a long way to fly.
So Spooky walked to the airport in Budapest. He sent a telegram to his cousin and bought a ticket.
Off he flew over the mountains and over the sea and finally landed in Canada.
When he got off the plane, the airport was deserted. Spooky expected Latimer to be there to meet him, but there wasn't, so
Spooky had just decided to take the very next plane back to the Carpathian Mountains when the clock began to strike midnight. Bong, bong, bong.
A grubby sort of a man beckoned to Spooky to follow him.
Outside on the driveway, there was a huge black coach pulled by 7 horses. The gnome opened the door, Spooky climbed up onto the velvet seat, and the door closed.
A moment later, he could feel the coach moving swiftly down a long hill. Then, all of a sudden, they were going up again, rumbling and bumping over a rough track.
The door opened and the gnome motioned for Spooky to get down. Without a second word, he jumped into his seat and off he went.
Spooky could see that the road dropped into a canyon full of jagged rocks.
Gathering all his strength and clutching his back in his claws, Spooky flew warily across the canyon and landed on the other side.
Spooky walked at the other side of the canyon and sat down to rest.
His head began to nod and he was almost asleep when he heard a noise behind him.
He turned to see a witch sitting there, grinning her snaggle-toothed grin. "Come for a ride, dearie," she cackled. "Climb on my broom and I will take you where you need to go."
What could Spooky do? He climbed onto the broomstick behind the witch, and then, zoom! They soared to the west and turned, suddenly zooming back towards the east. Then they stopped.
"End of the line, dearie," said the witch. "That's the place you're looking for."
Gathering all his strength, Spooky flew across the field and landed on the other side.
It was a massive, rambling house windows were dark and some of them were broken. The garden was totally overgrown with weeds.
Spooky climbed up the creaking stairs and lifted the heavy knocker. Boom, boom, boom. The noise echoed through the house.
A light came on in one of the tower rooms. There was the sound of footsteps. The door creaked open. A tall man, dressed all in black, stood there.
He had one arm draped in black cape across in front of him. He covered all of his face but eyes. Those eyes stared at the little bed, making a shiver run down his wings. Then
All the lights came on. The gnome and the witch shouted out,
Surprise!
The man, dressed in black, swept aside his cape and said, "Welcome to Canada, Cousin Spooky. You are just in time for the party."
Thank you for being such a wonderful audience. Do you like our Dracula?